Welcome back, one and all, to this dumpster fire of a YouTube channel. I am your host, Dr. Dustbin, and today we're returning to the wonderful world of Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. Today we're covering the newly released glitched attraction. And it really wouldn't be a Nitrosity video without him being late to the sodding party. Am I right, lads? Anyway, I've heard good things about this one, so honestly I'm quite excited, not to mention the main selling point is that this game is based off of escape rooms, which I explain in just a little bit more detail later on. Which honestly got me quite intrigued, as this is a relatively new kind of concept for, I guess, FNAF's simplistic gameplay style. So, you're not gonna waste any time. Let's see if Glitched Attraction can actually surprise me. Which, I mean, considering that this game is considered one of the best, you probably already know based on the title alone. So, yeah, there you go. Alright, so we have ourselves a little intro sequence. We get a few phone notices from our mate Kyle, and apparently it's 2032, so our phone must be old as shit. Not to mention this kid's setup. He's probably one of those douchebags that calls it his battle station and flexes his computer specs on his Steam profile. We get a glimpse of the location called the Fazbear attraction. Very creative naming, I know. We get inside and a staff bot with a text-to-speech voice basically explains the place in full detail. We're not even 5 minutes in, and the fact that this staff bot is using a text-to-speech voice, it's already made it into S tier. Now, if we could get a staff bot to use the funny Daniel UK voice, mate, this game's going into the SS tier. No ifs, no buts about it. We also get to pay a small fee of $15 to get in, which honestly is kind of a steal considering usually these escape rooms typically cost like $20 to $30 per person for one room. So yeah, you get your money's worth, I guess. And we also give our belongings, being this fucking big bag, and I gotta be completely honest, what the hell were you carrying in that thing? Like what, a goddamn picnic basket? It's like they were kind of expecting Freddy to jump off the stage and go, "Hey boo boo, that kid's got a picnic basket!" And then Bonnie just picks up the fucking double-barrel shotgun. We move through this door and this little screen comes down and introduces us to the tip manager. Honestly, I can't be half-assed to refer it to that throughout the remainder of this video, so I'm just gonna name you Steve. Yeah, Steve the tip manager. He's here to basically point us in the right direction so we're not fanny-arsing about in a room or something. So we finish meeting up with Steve and we get into possibly the most terrifying room in this game. Boo. I know, scary, right? Like, whoa, slow down there, player. It's only a fucking grizzly bear. Foxy will give us our flashlight and really cool animations, by the way, and a little bit of voice acting, I guess. That's something across this game, is that they have really cool animations. I wouldn't say it's like, you know, something to make an entire tweet about or anything, but you know, it's cool, nonetheless. Just thought I'd point that out, I guess. We open up this vent, and this would be the part of the video where I make some kind of Half-Life reference. But I don't feel like it today. So now that we got past Tutorial Island, we can now start talking about every single room, starting with this FNAF 4 themed room. Alright, so I'm assuming the majority of you have little to no clue on what an escape room generally is, so I'm just gonna briefly explain it to you with this. As you can clearly see here by my incredibly exquisite artwork. Here is just a pretty basic escape room. We have 2 volunteers joining us today, very special people. We have the bestest, and we have plain cheeseburger. So obviously the whole point of this is to, well, escape, because why would you call it a get inside room. Just food for thought, I guess. I mean, to be honest, someone has to stop the oven before the meatloaf burns the entire house down, am I right? The fun factor of these rooms typically comes from how you escape. Usually they just have a couple puzzles for you to solve, and that's usually how these things kind of go. So, for our first room here, we obviously have the puzzles in order to escape. But of course, this all comes together with some enemies to avoid in this section. We have Nightmare Fuckface, Nightmare Fuckwad, and Nightmare Burgerhead. Honestly, Fredbear would probably be that guy to cry over a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. Popeye's chicken sandwich.
So each character does something and adds some urgency while you're trying to solve a little puzzle, so you need to keep track of everything that's going on around you. You can't get too carried away or else you end up dead. Nightmare Fuckwad functions similarly to how he did in UCN, where you just need to flash the light at him, and that's pretty much it. Nightmare Burgerhead will simply approach the window, you just need to shut the curtains in his face to avoid him. Nightmare Fuckface will occasionally jump in and you need to put on the Golden Freddy suit to hide from him, whenever he shows up of course. So the actual puzzle itself, you just need to open this box by finding these two keys, then you slot the missing puzzle piece and get the code to unlock this safe over here, so you can use the hammer inside the safe to remove the boards and you're free to go. Oh, and don't mind Nightmare Bonnie, he can't do shit. So on to room number 2. This one is FNAF 2 inspired, also I just wanted to point this out. I kind of like the idea that you get to sort of familiarize yourself with the room before you actually get to start it. Just thought I'd point that out. It's been a minute. Enragement child. So with this one you have DeviantArt's favourite FNAF character and DeviantArt's second favourite FNAF character coming after you this time. You can hide in lockers to avoid them, and that's pretty much it. The first objective is to open this door. The code is to say door is hidden in this area. Also, it's not numbers, it's symbols, so the number will be next to a corresponding symbol on a post-it note. We open the door and we turn on this power, and now we have a second gimmick to worry about with Freddy now, who's basically the puppet from FNAF 2, where he's in a music box that must be attended with, so that he obviously doesn't kill you. Now you need to fetch some of these little sprockets that are hidden around the area while avoiding these two. Also, you can get achievements. I got this one earlier for Vanny. I don't remember seeing her exactly. I don't know, I guess I was too focused on avoiding everything. We put all the sprockets in place and we escape room 2 and onto room 3. Room 3 is based on FNAF 3, so obviously Springtrap will be a part of it, as well as Phantoms. Oh, and unexpectedly, Dreadbear is here also. Well, I guess since this is a horror attraction, I guess Dreadbear fits in rather nicely. Springtrap is here, who has seen that coming, and Phantoms, BB, and Foxy are here. We have a camera system, probably the first time that this game's actually acknowledged that FNAF has cameras. 2 doors with power, and obviously a puzzle for us to solve. So we have the camera system, and we need to keep an eye on Springtrap and Dreadbear, who will move around. Phantom BB will also appear here, and he'll shut off the camera if given the chance. So just avoid him as best as you can. Foxy will show up at the door, just avoid eye contact. Dreadbear will occasionally pop in from either the left or right side, and you need to hide under the desk, but you need to be closer to the left if Dreadbear's on the left, and vice versa. Springtrap will kind of do the same thing, but you just need to shut the door in his face. So the actual puzzle at hand, we need to gain access to the developer mode by inputting this code that is on the desk. Then we get a Faz token, which we need to play this little arcade game, where you just need to gather some items and give them to their respective characters. We then need to get into this purple tent, where Willie Mafton here just basically bitches about being dead. I mean, it's a pretty cool little cutscene though. I guess it's nice to actually see him feel actual fucking pain, you know, considering that you're literally put in a death trap suit for like over 30 years. Yeah, I'd probably feel pain as well. I'm just letting you know. We get a number code on the error screen, which is honestly kind of cool, to open up this case, which gets us a key to escape, and also the generator detonates, which causes the entire room to go up in flames. So I guess the entirety of Fazbear's Fright was set off by Demo Man. As we escape, Springtrap follows right behind us, so we quickly move through and shut the vent door, which closes on his head, and turns out that it wasn't actually Springtrap and now was an endoskeleton from Security Breach. Okay. So moving on to room 4, this one's based off of sister location and likewise has some sister location based stuff, like lights and controlled shocks. Obviously, we have the sister location cast to avoid, but Laura will approach from either the left or right hallway and we need to activate the Tesla coils to stop her from entering. Funtime Foxy, you just need to keep a close eye on them. When they start bugging out, you zap them. Kel Goth over here just needs to be put to sleep, just like in the base game. So the puzzle side of things, we need to fix up Circus Baby. So first, we hook up her head and it's a simple memory game. The arms are connect these lines together and the legs are match the corresponding colors. Once we are done, we move on to the next, more story related part actually. We head down this elevator where we're interrupted by these mini arenas, who I assume cut the wires and we have a fall. And of course, we live because we're the protagonist and we have plot armor. And see that good old Ennard has finally joined us and tries to punch the glass like a gorilla in a zoo exhibit. Yeah, you're basically a heap of wires. I don't think you're gonna be breaking that glass anytime soon, mate, so just give it a rest, yeah? So, room number 5. Here only has Ennard and probably the most free roam section this game will get. Honestly, probably the most difficult section as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, it does have a lot of trial and error built into its core design. So, for a lot of characters, they never exactly tell you how to deal with them. You just have to die to them to find out the truth. That's kind of how I discovered how to deal with Dreadbear. And since the rooms don't exactly take too long, it's not really that big of a deal. I honestly just found this one to be the most tedious, so whenever you encounter Ennard, you can't exactly hide anywhere, you just have to run, but you can use these wooden grates, which honestly don't really slow him down much like they're supposed to, since he basically decided to take karate lessons from Sandy Cheeks.
I hate all of you.
It's almost not worth the trouble. You're probably better off trying to avoid him at all costs if you can. You have to do this battery puzzle, kind of like the ones in Help Wanted. I think it's from the Parts and Service Foxy game, I believe. You can also find this key, which I found, which opens this door in the generator room, where you get a checkpoint, by the way. It basically explains a bit of the backstory behind this and all of that, which you can find a VHS tape of Annie and, well, you know, at least they're doing her more justice than Steel Wool has, so good job. I'll talk about a bit more of the story near the end of the video, as per usual, so let us continue forward. Yeah, honestly, this section was a bit more tedious. It got a little bit annoying, probably because Ennard's just a little piece of shit. I mean, I used to like you heap of spaghetti, but piss off. I managed to get through it though. I don't think it's like bullshit kind of difficult. It's just probably the most difficult section in this game and probably the most tedious. So once we do all the battery puzzles and all the stuff, obviously avoiding Spaghetti Man, we finally get to escape this little basement area and make it to the final escape room of this game. The last and final room is based off of Pizza Sim. You have to play this mini game that you got to play before you actually played the real Pizza Simulator. Kinda cool. Scrap Baby will approach from behind you and you need to use this repel system to get rid of her. Now apparently Scrap Baby can hear. I mean, what, is she fucking Venom now? Like, is her weakness sound? I already made the fucking joke in Dark Revival, so I can't really say that this will hit 1 trillion copies, cause it's a free game. I don't know what you want from me, Scrap child. You also need to pay attention to Peanut Head Afton, so you need to close the door before you can do anything. We also need to help Helpy.
You should kill yourself now and give somebody else a piece of that oxygen and ozone layer that's covered up so that we can breathe inside this blue trap bubble. Because what are you here for? To worship me? Kill yourself. I mean that with 100%, with 1,000%.
With his little poster over here, and to fix that we need to give Rockstar Freddy a single coin, and not 5, so must have been a big sale of some variety. Guess he finally decided to hook up to Gabe Newell, or something. Spaghetti Freddy is also here, and to deal with him you just need to shine the light at him. similar to the same way you dealt with everyone else in Pizza Sim, in the office sections of that game. We get the bolt cutters, and we finally get to escape this area and into the epilogue section of this game. So we make it to the basement, where we get even more story-related stuff, where suddenly, Vanny just bonks us on the head and takes us to Afton in cryosleep. Vanny takes Remnant out of us, and Afton gets out and screams at us and just throws us out. Okay, first of all, your breath fucking stinks, and secondly, I have a question. Why in the fuck does screaming do anything in this franchise? This has been the way since, like, 2014, man. And it's like, really? Is screaming, like, the only way you can kill people? I mean, like, you're not, like, some superhero with voice powers or some shit. I mean, to be honest, that's a pretty boring power to have. But, you know, I'm guessing if people often can just scream at you and somehow manage to knock you out cold, I don't know. It's kind of weird, I guess. So then we get to watch the FNAF 4 bite again, but in Hold It, 3 whole dimensions. Then some weird shit happens and then the game's over. Story. It seems to lie more with the Remnant bullshit that I myself don't give two flying fucks about, but it seems like, at least this game for me, makes it at least a lot more understandable. You know, it's not like overdoing it, it's just like, Remnant is soul energy, there you go, you got your answer, now enjoy the story or some shit. I didn't mind it at all, honestly, it was fine. It was cool. I do like the idea of Vanny having this entire area just be some big murder weapon. Honestly, just at this point, Vanny may as well just walk up to Gregory and just go,
You should kill yourself now!
Protocol 3. Protect the pilot. Have you ever heard of a monk?
And to be honest, I feel like this game does a lot more justice for Vanny than Steel Wall managed to do with her for Security Breach, as I already mentioned earlier in this video, which, you know, honestly, probably makes the purchase of my Vanny plushie a lot more worth it now. Fucking Vanny! And there we have it, the entirety of Glitched Attraction. Honestly, this one is probably one of the best fan games that came out this year. Not really surprising, because that's quite literally what everyone else has said, so my opinion means fucking nothing. The idea of a FNAF-themed escape room is rather interesting, and I think that these developers did an incredibly fantastic job. I honestly, check out this game if you're interested. I had a really fun time with this one. Honestly, the only thing I'd love to see added is a staff bot with a UK Daniel voice. Just please do that for my amusement. So let's wrap everything up quickly over here. So if you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. It does wonders for the channel, and I'd be happy as a pig in shit if you could. We are growing ever so close to that 10k milestone, and I'm hoping that I can somehow manifest 700 more of you to hit the red subscribe button or white one. I don't know, because YouTube is being a piece of shit, and yeah, but that's about it. I have a couple socials. I have a Twitter account over here, which you can follow. I don't really use it, and I'm guessing most of you already know that this website is basically on the verge of imploding on itself, so yeah, if you're wondering, I'm probably not going to be moving anywhere. I'm probably just gonna, you know, stay and watch everything burn from this couch that I started using for some reason. You can also join my Discord server if you want to. Obviously, nothing really goes on there unless, so yeah, it's also appropriately named The Dumpster, because it's hot trash. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video, and I'll see you lot in the next one.